Hello and welcome to the Sovereign Game Power by MJJ Taylor. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Chapter 5, Part 1. Control the story, control the outcome. Interpretation. Every human being lives inside stories. Stories about who they are, who others are, what's fair, what's deserved, what's true. These stories don't come from facts alone. They are shaped, bent, twisted, and magnified by frames, the invisible lenses that dictate how events are understood. The same act can be glory or betrayal, heroism or villainy, victory or crime, depending on who frames it first and how convincingly they hold the frame. Own the frame means refusing to let other people narrate your life for you. It means understanding that power is not just what you do, but what you make others believe about what you do. The frame is the invisible stage upon which your reputation, your influence, and your future are decided. Think about how fast opinions form in a room. Someone tells a story about you before you arrive, and suddenly every word you say is filtered through that lens. A rival labels your ambition as arrogance, and now your confidence feels threatening to others. A mistake is framed as failure before you've had a chance to show it was an experiment. The frame always comes first. The truth limps behind it. To own the frame is to seize this first strike. It's to decide how you will be seen before anyone else gets to choose. It's the art of setting the terms of engagement so that even when you're challenged inside a narrative you control. Leaders who master this don't just win arguments. They make their vision feel inevitable. They shift the emotional climate of the room, the company, the nation, until people stop questioning whether they're right and start believing they must be. This is not deception, it's authorship. If you don't write your story, someone else will, and you may not like the ending they give you. Owning the frame is taking the pen out of their hands and saying, "This is who I am. This is what this means. This is why you can't look away." Frames create belief, and belief creates power. Own the frame, and you stop chasing validation. You make the world adjust to your story. Historical example: the framing of Augustus, Rome, 27 BCE. I found Rome a city of bricks and left it a city of marble. Augustus Caesar. After Julius Caesar's assassination, Rome was a fractured, furious beast. Civil war had shattered trust in leaders. Power-hungry generals were hated. The public feared another tyrant rising from the ashes of the Republic. Into this chaos stepped Octavian, the young heir of Caesar, destined to claim the throne, yet damned by the same bloodline that got his uncle killed. Octavian understood that raw power alone would not save him. Rome was allergic to kings, so he reframed himself. He took the title princeps, meaning first citizen, instead of king or dictator. He painted his rule as a restoration of the republic, not its destruction. He poured wealth into public works, built temples, fed the poor, and framed himself as the protector of Rome's traditions while quietly dismantling them. Octavian became Augustus, the man who gave power back to the Senate while holding every string behind the curtain. His military might was unmatched, but it was his framing that secured his rule. History remembers him not as a tyrant, but as Rome's greatest peacemaker. The same actions that might have branded him a usurper were wrapped in a story that made him savior instead. The lesson is eternal. The facts of your rise matter less than the story you make people believe about it. Modern example: Elon Musk's mythic persona, global, 2010s to 2020s. I think it is possible for ordinary people to choose to be extraordinary. Jeremy Elon Musk. In the 21st century, technology tycoon Elon Musk didn't just build companies, he built a myth. To the public, he was not just a businessman, he was a visionary billionaire destined to colonize Mars, save humanity from AI, and reinvent transportation. His ventures, Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, were constantly framed as missions for the future of civilization, not mere profit machines. This frame made him untouchable in ways raw numbers never could. Investors forgave losses. Fans turned him into a cultural icon. Media narratives swung wildly, yet the overarching myth persisted. Elon Musk wasn't just running companies, he was rewriting destiny. Even his failures, rockets exploding, timelines slipping, were framed as bold experiments in a larger heroic journey. The truth of his empire was complex, full of risk, controversy, and contradiction. But the frame of audacious savior swallowed the details. It turned ambition into prophecy, attracting loyalty, capital, and influence on a scale few could rival. Frames don't just shape perception, they warp reality. Entire industries bent around Musk because he owned the story first. Folktale, The Bamboo King, Thailand, 1400s. A Thai legend tells of two princes vying for the throne. The first built a palace of stone, filled with gold and soldiers to show his strength. The second walked into villages barefoot, planting bamboo wherever he went, saying, "If I am king, every home will have shade and food." When the people were asked who should rule, they pointed to the one who made them imagine a future they could feel in their hands. When the second prince rose to power, the first raged, claiming he had more wealth, more bloodline, more force. The elders only said, "You showed us your power. He showed us our story." And so the Bamboo King ruled, not because he had the sharpest sword, but because he framed his claim as their victory, not his. Tactical placement. Every moment of power is a silent struggle over what something means. People don't act on reality, they act on their understanding of it. And understanding is pliable, fragile, up for grabs. This is the battlefield of frames. Whoever defines what is happening first owns the truth, even when it isn't true. You've seen this before. A rumor spreads in a workplace, and suddenly a brilliant idea becomes reckless. A firm decision becomes arrogant. A hesitation becomes weakness. None of these labels were inevitable. They were handed out by whoever framed the story loudest or soonest. And from there, perception ossified. People stopped questioning the story and started reacting to it as fact. That is the quiet tyranny of frames. They do not just describe reality, they dictate how others behave around you. The sovereign never leaves this battlefield unattended. They don't wait for people to decide what they think. They decide for them. Owning the frame begins before you speak. It's in the way you enter a room, the weight of your silence, the clarity of your first words. It's in the metaphors you plant, the story you give your actions before anyone else does. Instead of defending yourself against rumors or judgments, you create a narrative that makes other versions of the story sound absurd. Owning the frame also means mastering restraint. You cannot fight every interpretation head-on. You don't need to. You choose the frames worth holding and repeat them with unshakable calm until they settle like stone. Others may gossip or object, but the room feels your certainty like gravity pulling them toward your version of events. This is not manipulation for manipulation's sake. It's a shield and a weapon. A shield because you are no longer vulnerable to the labels others throw at you. A weapon because you can tilt the meaning of events in your favor before anyone else has a chance to twist them. You shift a loss into a learning, a conflict into courage, an ambition into destiny. When you own the frame, you're not just part of the story, you're the author, and everyone else is reading your script without even realizing it. Apply this in relationships. Define what you are to someone early, or they will decide for you. Leadership. Frame hard decisions as collective victories, not personal commands. Manipulation. Reframe conflicts or failures into narratives that favor your position. Friendship. Guide the tone of groups. Make them feel the story is better with you in it.